taking three.
Going for the St. Louis now.
Oh no!
Son of a bitch.
You get your two?
Yeah. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thotgor here, of course, and today I have two video replays, both from subscribers. The first one we're taking a look at is with GameGoon, and the second one we're taking a look at is going to be Solon. Just a special shout out here for Pootahead as well, because he sends in a lot of replays. Yump and Yimmy on YouTube. His replays are going to be featured in some upcoming episodes here, most likely, you know, Ever Wonder. But Anyway, to get into the game today, we are looking at GameGoon first, as mentioned. So he is in his Cleveland today, and we are on Two Brothers. And based on, you know, the new island placements, you can tell that this is after the new patch, so 0.5.1. And the action in this game does, you know, pick up fairly quickly, actually. And it amounts to something really incredible. In fact, with the two replays today, looking at the numbers, we'll see them here at the end, but just to give you a preview here, looking at the numbers on both, in total, out of these two clips we're going to watch today, a total of 258,000 damage will be done, yes. In a tier 6, in a tier, and then a tier 3, so that's pretty amazing. Anyway, moving in. So we can see that GameGoon is, you know, coming over here on the west side. He does have a few allies with him, but there are a lot of enemy destroyers over here as well. So we need to keep that in mind. In fact, there goes one of the allied destroyers. He just got torpedoed and is gone. So now it's just GameGoon and this Omaha left over here. Well, in his immediate vicinity, yes, he does have ships off to his port side. Those torpedoes ran out, so that was lucky. GameGoon puts some shots into the enemy destroyer, gets the kill, and that's his first kill. Does another torpedo dodge here. Things got really hairy really quickly, as mentioned, but now at least one of the destroyers is gone, so now you can focus on, you know, some other ships that might be off in the distance, ships that he can see. So we have this Omaha here, so putting shots into the Omaha, and then there's another enemy destroyer that has popped up. So immediately going to switch over to the enemy destroyer, obviously. I mean, just makes sense, right? You're in a Cleveland. Gets a really nice shot on that salvo there. I think a total of 8 hits. More torpedoes coming in though, and you'll notice torpedoes from both sides. Oh my, yeah, this was crazy. So slows it right down, manages to dodge that shot, puts some more shots out onto the destroyer, manages to dodge those torpedoes as well, which was crazy. Gets the kill. That's his second kill. That destroyer is now gone. Now we have this other destroyer here that shot those other torpedoes that came in at the crazy angle, putting shots into this guy immediately. Unfortunately for this guy, he was in reverse. Don't know what he was doing. Don't know why or how, any of that. There he goes, and he's gone, and that's the third kill for GameGoon. Yes, that all happened really, really quickly. So now that things have kind of cooled down here for now, and, you know, dodging these friendly torpedoes, we can really start focusing on, as discussed earlier, other ships that are off in the distance. So again, you know, you still have this Omaha, putting shots into this guy, firing armor piercing, or at least loading armor piercing now, right? Because it is an Omaha after all. I mean, you're just going to get a lot of nice citadel hits. If not, you're just going to do really good damage to the guy. Well, if you actually hit the shots, of course. Not that I'm any better. So, just to make that clear. But yeah, now the Omaha is exposing his broadside, so there we go. That was nice. 2 citadel hits in that salvo. That's not too bad at all. And we're putting more shots in as well. And you can see GameGoon is following the shots as they go in, so you can see where they're hitting and then adjust accordingly. There's another salvo, there's another citadel, so that was also awesome. And the Omaha is, you know, almost dead at this point, and we can really taste that 4th kill coming. Yes, we can. So the Omaha again is in a turn, again showing his broadside. Yeah, and there you go. There's another citadel, there's the kill, and that is kill number 4. So fantastic. I mean, this west side, basically, for the enemies, has just crumbled. All thanks to GameGoon here. There is another enemy, well, Omaha-ish ship, right? It's a Murmansk. You can tell by the camo, that's how I tell. But anyway, you can see the Murmansk here, and again, firing armor piercing at the Murmansk as well, because, you know, it's an Omaha-based ship, so again, you're going to get lots of nice citadels on this thing. That salvo that went in a while ago just got another citadel hit on. out of that as well. So that was great. And more salvos coming in. There's another Citadel hit, more critical damage, and the Murmansk is down to half health now. I mean, really not a whole lot he can do, and tasting the 5th kill, right? Another Citadel hit, shooting some planes down as well, so that's always great. They're just scout planes and fighter planes, but still, anything you can shoot down is, always helpful to yourself and your team. It takes away from the enemies. And there goes the last salvo into the enemy Murmansk there, but ally finishes them off, so whatever, that's fine. Still lots of enemy ships remaining, still lots of opportunities to get the 5th kill here. Now we've got, what was this guy? That is a New York, I believe. So quickly switching over to high explosive, because it only makes sense to shoot high explosive at a battleship. Especially these low tier battleships. It's just the thing to do. We've talked about it many times before. So shots are going into the New York, and Game Goon, you can see, is trying to close the distance, get into this enemy cap, maybe start capping it, putting pressure on the enemy ships that are still on the east side, or that may be on the east side, just to maybe get everyone back to the base so you can really start killing people off here. Doing good damage to this New York as well, just in terms of setting fires, doing damage over time, taking out any secondary batteries or AA guns that he might have left, right? That's what you want to get done with these high explosives. And it's really nice when you get set the fires. There comes some friendly torpedoes. Few of them hit the New York, so that is great as well. More damage done to the New York. And he's down to about maybe a little over a quarter health left. Not for long, though. It's not going to last. You can see there is another enemy ship that's starting to come around from the east side to give his ally some backup and to provide some defense to his base. Unfortunately, though, the New York that he would have been providing support to isn't going to make it out of this one. No. Yeah, he's gone. That's great. Now we have this enemy ship over here, so we're going to start focusing in on this guy. It's a Congo, and he's in a reverse at this time. Not quite sure what he's doing, but okay, that's alright. Game Goon gets some shots into him. You can see them, they're coming in now, following them in, and they're going to land shortly and do some damage, hopefully set some fires as well. Another enemy ship coming around as well. You can see the enemies are also only down to 4 enemy ships now, so yeah, I mean, we know where 2 of them are. Well, now we know where 3 of them are, so that last enemy ship has to be lurking around here as well. You can see that, all of them more or less are on the retreat, coming back to their base, trying to do whatever they can. All for naught, though. Setting the Congo on fire, so that's not too bad at all. There's another fire to the Congo as well, so we know that if he has used his repair party, any additional fires we set, he's not going to be able to put those out. And the 4th enemy ship pops up now as well, so yeah, they are all back here. There's another enemy Omaha, so we're going to switch to the Omaha because he is the closest enemy target. Firing or clearing the barrels of the high explosive, right? Getting the armor piercing loaded now, ready for this Omaha, because again, you're going to do a bunch of citadels, lots of damage. It's going to be amazing. So there we go. There's another citadel hit for Game Goon as well, and we're just going to keep firing salvos into the Omaha until the Omaha is gone. There's the 5th kill, and there is high caliber, with the bonus of 2 additional citadel shots. Now we got the Konigsberg here, and again, we're just going to keep armor piercing loaded, because the Konigsberg, very similar to the Omaha, very weak armor, and you're going to get lots of nice citadel hits. There goes the Konigsberg, and that is kill number 6. Fantastic. Alright, now only 2 enemy ships remaining. There's that Congo, and I think it's another New York. The Konigsberg managed to get some torpedoes off. Game Goon takes one to the bow, but not really a big deal. Able to repair it right away, and got lucky that it didn't do a whole lot of damage. So Congo and a New York remaining, again dodging friendly torpedoes. That was crazy. He cleared the barrel of his armor piercing, right, to load up his high explosive, and shot them off the New York. Got a citadel hit on the New York, so that was cool. But now high explosive is loaded. Excuse me. High explosive is loaded. We're setting fires. We're doing more damage, and there's a Confederate. Yes, excellent. Great. Gonna keep putting shots into New York, because you can really burn down New York quite easily in Cleveland. You'll notice that Game Goon doesn't have a whole lot of hit points left, so gotta kind of be aware of that fact. but really closing the distance here on this New York. The New York, for the most part, you can tell, doesn't have a whole lot of secondary batteries remaining, if any at all, because Game Goon isn't taking any fire from those secondary batteries. I have seen people complain about this before. What I would say to those people is, keep in mind that those secondary batteries can be destroyed. There is kill number 7. Yes. Awesome job, Game Goon. 7 kills. The enemies only have 1 ship remaining. It's that Congo, and the allies are capping the base. So things have gone really, really well in this battle. Just a matter of trying to stay alive, or at least, well, I guess it doesn't really matter at this time, but whatever. Just, doing what you can with the Congo that's remaining. Very few hit points remaining, right? So got to keep that in mind as well. Putting shots into the Congo has lost his steering, so he's not going to be able to turn and get a broadside on Game Goon, so that is good. And in the meantime, you can relatively effectively get some nice fire in on the Congo, again setting fires and doing damage to AA guns and secondary batteries, which is always great. The Congo, though, does have 2 guns on her stern, so is able to get a few shots off. Game Goon takes a hit there, and now he's down to, below 500 hit points. So 1 more shot from this Congo, and Game Goon will be gone. But does it really matter at this point, other than to say that you survived the battle, I suppose, right? You can see the Congo there is craftily trying to avoid some Allied torpedoes. In the process, get some shots off. Game Goon is gone. Oh well. Doesn't really matter though, because 7 kills, high caliber, Confederate. This is going to be a victory, regardless of what happens. We're just going to jump to the Fuso over here. Friendly Fuso, yep. He is hunting down, well, you could probably say, going to ram this Congo. Yes, he is. I thought he was going to try and line up for the broadside, and you can see that he more or less is, but this Congo is on a ramming course. Yes, there's no avoiding this, so fortunately for the Fuso, and it's going to be hard to tell here, but yeah, fortunately for the Fuso, he's on full health, rams the Congo, and survives, and that's the victory. 7 kills, 301,000 credits, 4,500 experience, high caliber, Confederate, 11 citadels, 12 fires, 223 hits. That was a really, really great game, wasn't it? In total, we'll take a look at it here. I mean, in terms of overall experience, right? Game Goon is at 25 or 2,200, over 2,000 anyway, which is more than double of the highest scoring enemy on the enemy team. So that is also fantastic. I mean, he really, really just carried through that victory there. Killing all those destroyers at the beginning was really, really a good thing. In terms of overall damage done, we are looking at 147,000 damage in AP shells, HE shells, fire set, secondary batteries, right? So really, really good job there as well. Moving into the second clip we have for the day. So taking a look at it now, as discussed, it is Solon, and he is in his tier 3 wickets, and we are on Big Race today. Yes, this was another amazing game. Keep in mind, between the 2 clips that we're looking at today, 258,000 damage is what we have. So Solon's in his wickets. We can see that this is the one cap type map here, where it's not going to be domination and with the 3 different bases, or even the 2 different bases, just the 1 point cap. So going into Destroyer Alley in this type of map probably isn't going to be your main concern here, and Solon makes the right call right away. He's moving up, and he's going to try to get into that cap zone, and it's actually really tricky what he does here. Near the beginning of the map, there's a lot of sneaking. Beginning of the match, there's a lot of sneaking around. There's a lot of good use of cover, excellent use of smoke. Really, really plays out quite nice. And then he goes on a rampage. Yes, we will see the rampage in all of its glory. It's going to be, quite spectacular here. Looking around the map, In terms of the allies, the majority of the allies have also recognized the situation and the fact, of the game that they're playing here, that they need to position themselves in and around the cap zone in order to, take advantage of maybe capping it or killing enemy ships that might charge into that cap, or at the very least shooting enemy ships that might be in the background of the cap, right? So that's where you're going to want to have your primary focus, main concentration of ships when you are playing this type of map. You can see that there is an ally destroyer down there in the south in Destroyer Alley. That's not necessarily a bad call either. You want at least one ship down there just to confirm that there is nothing down there, so you don't have to worry about the enemy flanking you. And ideally you would send one destroyer, because the destroyer is quick enough to get down there, make the determination, and come back and support the team, right? If it's all clear down there. So that, good call by that destroyer player. It's going to be up to that destroyer player now, though, to decide when he's done scouting and when to push and come support the team. Unfortunately, you can see on the minimap he has discovered some enemy ships, so need to deal with those. Getting back to Solon here, you can see that we have a Kolberg, tier 3 German cruiser off in the distance, and Solon was eyeing that guy down. So, at this point in time, being very sneaky, sort of choosing targets, seeing where they're going, and then using the cover and the islands that he has available to him to really take advantage of some situations here. And that's what this little cove we're moving into right now. You can see he's coming into it. Shortly we're going to notice that the speed is going to drop, and he's more or less going to sit in this little cove here with the enemy ships around, seeing what they're doing and trying to ambush them, which was really cool. Enemy destroyer off in the distance though, so you need to be aware of that guy. Smoke has been popped, and now we are at a stop, right? Well, we're moving into a reverse here to get back into the cove, but more or less at a stop, and eyeing down enemy ships that we have. Fired off a spread of torpedoes there, not really sure what he was firing at, probably just defensive in case there was anything there, like an enemy destroyer or something, but fired those off. We've got the Kolberg, so now we're going to start putting shots into the Kolberg within the smoke without moving. So for the most part, the Kolberg has no sweet clue what is happening right now. All he can tell is that there is a cloud of smoke off in the distance, and there are bullets coming out of that cloud of smoke. That's all he knows at this time. So alright, he's turning around. We're going to keep putting shots into him. But we're also going to be aware of where he's going, where we are, Solon is, and what sort of torpedoes we might be able to shoot off at him, right? And that's what we're doing right now, sizing up the target, because you can see if that Kolberg just continues in a straight line and comes around that cove, the torpedoes that Solon just fired off are going to hit him. Unfortunately, the Kolberg has maybe early warning, or just happened, coincidence. He was already in a turn, and he's turning to avoid some of those torpedoes. So, yeah, but still, good call on shooting them off. Now, because it's a wickets, keep in mind, you can turn around, because you got torpedoes on the port and starboard side, fired another shot off, but held off on that second shot because the Allied St. Louis is right there. Yes. So, you really want to pay attention to your allies. Don't torpedo them. You can see Solon didn't necessarily see the St. Louis at the beginning, shot off that one spread, but once he saw the St. Louis, alright, not shooting off the second spread there. So excellent call there. Everyone's still alive, everyone's happy. Moving into the actual cap zone now. The little tricks in the cove over there that we just saw, that is more or less over at this time. There are some enemy ships, well, not surprisingly, we knew they were there. They took out the friendly destroyer, in fact, but they're over here, right? We can see some of them start popping up. So Solon is moving into position to help the allies he has over here on the western side of the map. Quite a few battleships, actually, now that we're looking at it. So there was a Wyoming, I think, not a New Mexico, South Carolina, yeah. Wyoming and South Carolina is what we've got in terms of battleships over here at this time. So again, Solon is going to be moving in here using the cover that he has, and it gets really hectic here, really quickly. With the amount of sheer damage and ambush and surprise that Solon is going to pull off here in the next few minutes, it is really something to behold. Really spectacular. So again, moving into position, he's no longer seen because he's moved behind the island. don't have to worry about enemy ships sneaking up on them right at this time, but still keeping track of where the enemies are going. You can see here as well that a cruiser has popped up. So that's going to throw a wrench into the situation, or could potentially throw a wrench into the situation, right? Cruiser has a lot of rapid firing guns, and when you're at tier 3 in a destroyer, you know, that is your death blow. That's what's going to get you. So Solon has, you know, stopped his ship. He's tracking the enemy cruiser. If the enemy cruiser will just come around this little headland here, Solon can launch torpedoes, get them gone, and it's, you know, then just the 2 battleships. That enemy cruiser, though, is maneuvering around, and he just doesn't come fully around like you would want him to. So Solon has to pop smoke. He's moving very slowly at this time, you know, just building up a little speed, waiting for the enemy cruiser to come along. There's the enemy cruiser. He is firing both spreads of torpedoes off the enemy cruiser, but the enemy cruiser was almost at a stop, and he sees what's going on. You can see that the enemy cruiser is now in a reverse. So that first spread of torpedoes that Solon fired off isn't actually going to hit anything. It's up to the second spread to start doing some damage. So there's, what was that, 2 hits on the enemy cruiser. I think it's another Kohlberg, in fact. And then we still have those other torpedoes, and you'll notice that there's a Wyoming there in the background, right? One of those torpedoes is actually going to hit that Wyoming. Yes, it is. So that is amazing. There it is. There's a nice hit on the Wyoming. Still have to deal with this enemy cruiser, though. You'll notice that the enemy cruiser is still taking damage. So we know that the enemy cruiser is flooding. He wasn't able to repair the flooding damage from that torpedo strike. So that's awesome. So we're lining up some more torpedoes here. Enemy cruiser is going, you know, all out, not taking any chances here. Fires a full salvo off of Solon. Solon gets lucky and it only knocks out a torpedo tube. That's no big deal. 8 seconds and that'll be gone. There we go. Enemy Kohlberg is gone. There's kill number 1. Now we can start the ambush. Yes, we can. We've got this South Carolina who doesn't really know what's going on, I suspect. Solon fires a full salvo from the starboard side off at the South Carolina. Now he's turning and maneuvering as well to try and position himself while firing at the South Carolina to get the port side torpedoes ready if need be. Fires off 1 salvo from the port. It's not needed though. Enemy South Carolina is gone. Devastating strike. That is the second kill. Fantastic. Now we're moving into the Wyoming. Yes, the Wyoming also has no idea what's going on, apparently. Solon is moving around. He's got both starboard and port side torpedo launchers ready to go, so he has his choice as to how he wants to maneuver and get this enemy Wyoming gone. You see, Solon doesn't take any chances here and closes the distance to more or less point blank, fires all 6 torpedoes, full salvo, off at the Wyoming. Torpedoes are out and away. There we go. Wyoming is gone. That's kill number 3. Fantastic. And that was a whole crap ton of damage that was dealt out there all at once. We've got this enemy Miyogi over here. Yes, battleship number 3, in fact. I am going to make a prediction and say that this enemy Miyogi has no sweet clue what's going on, just like his South Carolina buddy and his Wyoming buddy. Yeah, that's the prediction. So torpedoes are out. We've got both torpedo launchers on the port side, off at the Miyogi. Solon again closing the distance, lining up the starboard side torpedoes now in case he's not able to hit the Miyogi, but no. That was a well-fired torpedo salvo. Miyogi is gone. That is 4 kills, high caliber, and the second devastating strike. Oh yeah. That was amazing, wasn't it? So now, yeah, feeling pretty good. Solon has popped smoke, and he is stopped. Because there is an enemy cruiser over here. It's another, I think it's a Kohlberg, no, St. Louis. Yeah, St. Louis. There it is there. So putting more shots into the St. Louis. Just trying to, get some invisible shots off at him, right? More or less, waiting for some torpedoes to reload, waiting for the St. Louis to come into his range, and then there we go. St. Louis is in the range, and we fired both salvos off from the port side. Now, Given Solon's strategy of just closing the distance, getting right in their face, and launching torpedoes at point blank, that is exactly what he's going to be doing to the St. Louis. Yeah, and gets really lucky doing it in that he doesn't die, because we all know how many guns the St. Louis has and how devastating it can be to a destroyer, especially to a destroyer. So we have both both torpedo launchers fired at the St. Louis from the starboard side. Now it's just a matter of, can we survive until those torpedoes get there? Yes, we sure can. That is a Confederate medal. That is the 5th kill, and we also got the 3rd devastating strike. Oh yeah. Only one enemy ship remaining now. It's a Kawachi. In fact, the Kawachi, we don't see him yet, but the Kawachi is actually riding the line down the east side towards the south. Yeah, he sure is. You might have noticed too the banter there in the chat. Solon just so excited with all the damage he's done, and I don't blame him for a second. I mean, this was an amazing, amazing game. Really something else. And, you know, engines are now repaired. You'll notice that Solon's using the premium repair party, so that is nice because it really gives you a much better cooldown and gives you a little more flexibility on the battle if you're just looking to own everyone. Even your teammates. Just own everyone, yeah. Take a look at some of those premium cooldown stuff. So, now it's just a matter of tracking down the Kawachi, right? You can see Solon's asking where he is. Not really sure at this time, but he's going to pop up here shortly, and we are going to get him. In fact, there he is there. It's a Kawachi, as discussed, and once we zoom in on him, you'll see what I mean, yeah. Riding the line down towards the south. Yeah, this is definitely after 0.5.1. So the Kawachi, which can go maybe 20 knots, maybe, is now at reduced speed. Now, I don't know if this was a suicide move by this player, you know, just trying to do it and maybe, I don't know, just give an easy kill to the enemy team. Who knows? But whatever. I'm going to say that it's not a good play. At the very least, you can go down fighting. All guns blazing, right? That would be the most honorable thing to do. Solon sort of slows down here because, I mean, he is on really low health. I think it's like 308 hit points. Might be less. I'm not 100% sure, but it's definitely below 1,000 here. So doesn't really want to take too many chances in dying because, frankly, this was a spectacular battle, right? Just spectacular. So the Kawachi's burning. He's almost dead. Solon put some last shots into him here, and they're just getting in there. Blam. Yeah, he did get that kill. Sure did. Battle over. Victory, of course. What was that? 6 kills? Yes. 12 torpedo hits, 249,000 credits, 9,400 experience, 3 devastating strikes, Confederate and high caliber. This was an amazing game in the Tier 3 wickets. After all, oh my god, yeah. In case you were wondering, in terms of experience at the 9400, this was ×3 during a ×3 event, and Solon was running the Confederate flag to give him that extra 0.5, so it was in fact 3.5%. Overall, Solon top of the team, no question there, but he was also more than double the highest scoring enemy ship, yeah. So basically owned everyone, just everyone. And in terms of damage done, we are looking at 111,000 damage done. Yes, 96,000 damage alone with torpedo hits out of those 12 torpedo hits. So fantastic. So if you did the math on that, that's where I came up with the 258,000 damage that was done in these 2 battles. Taking a look at the last screen as well, you know, well over 200,000 credits walking away with, and you can see there the 3.5 times, which resulted in that 9400 experience. Fantastic. So thank you so much, GameGoon and Solon, for sending in more replays, and you know, thank you everyone else who sends in replays. If you want to send in your own replays, keep in mind Thotgor1@gmail.com. It's in the video description below, along with some other helpful links like my link to my forum posts, link to my clan website, and link to World of Warships forum as well. So be sure to leave any comments you might have for me. Love reading those and responding back to them. Hit the old like button if you like the video today. Do be sure to hit subscribe as well if you are not a subscriber. As always, folks, I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.